putting up some choices tonight, G. Biotech rally, but is still on track for its third worst. So it's catching a bump, but it's dropping, or it was on its worst. It's third worst ever. Maybe that's where it's metric. Catching on the way up. We'll have to listen for momentum. If you're running the biotech names as an overall, because that's usually how they would hit it, most of them. It's not efficient to run just one name without talking about the sector, why they're up and down. Yeah. Let's see what we got. I'm into the treacherous market. I'm also into the Fed because usually they are, generally within the set here. Let's see who's on. Kudlow. We'll definitely put this in the watch later list with the rest of it. Well, they do like to run the same stuff, but every once in a while they give you a new bit, which I'm expecting to see some heavy stuff here. Tommy Lee and her there, the lady with the Derringer, generally they don't play too much, or if they do, it's the thing. I'll have to throw some of these in there for today, too.
Our next guest predicts treacherous market activity will pave the way for a violent rally in February. Tom Lee runs Fundstrat Global Advisors, is the CNBC contributor. Tom, always good to see you.
Yeah, great to see you, Melissa.
So January was rough. You thought January would be rough, but you didn't think it would be this rough. Is the flip side to that you think this violent rally in February will be even stronger?
Yeah, the setup looks like the V for February is not Valentine's, but violent rally. And I think there's a couple of reasons for that. One is that we know retail sentiment got so negative that it was the worst since 2013.
Everybody had to get hardwired about Christmas trees and cargo containers
6 out of
for
6
a
times the
year
market was higher
Dollar
3 months
Tree.
later. So I think we're in a easy sort of
I know
risk
those
reward
things
for the month of February. The second is retail cash. We're going to talk about this with our clients tonight, but if you look at retail money market
maybe
cash
it's
from
a house
ICI,
thing and you're showing a
retail investors
demographic, but they're not
basically
going to lay
assumed the
up
bear
the
market
number
was
for
starting.
it.
So they've
Like
raised
maybe
so
some
much
play
cash
that
in the
they
last couple
made
of
where
months
they're
that
watching their
we're
carbon index
essentially
where they could see
resetting
it iRobot
a
or
risk
track
on
it,
rally.
cosmic radiation
And the
background,
third
whatever
is,
Stonehenge is
I
dialed
mean, this is
into.
anecdotal, but I've been at a couple conferences over the past week. I didn't find anybody bullish. So I think when institutional investors are cautious, retail
38%
basically
approved
priced in a bear
Biden in
market
this
and their
circle,
sentiment's the worst in 8
I get the
years,
homogenization
you
of the
could have a
cosmic
huge
radiation
rally.
background and
And as
why
we've
in the
written
middle
before,
that we need to be
recoveries
renormalized.
from a fast sell-offs actually typically are symmetric, meaning you should expect a violent rally.
Again, up or down, you have to look at it. It was
Tom,
up, it
it's
was
Karen,
down.
Thanks for coming
it's
on.
on
I
the set.
appreciate having you.
What's always
like
up when it's
acronyms
having
here.
a dip.
Yours is
So
beef.
what are the common tones for one of them?
Bitcoin is part
what's
of
in
it.
there?
How
and
do
it
you
still
see,
always plays the basic
when you
fundamentals.
say Bitcoin, are you using Bitcoin itself or are you using cryptocurrencies?
Here it might be for them
in
at certain
general,
tables
and
where they
do you
pay
think
premiums
Bitcoin's
to smoke
dominance in
cigarettes
that-
amongst players who have money
that
and
spectrum
know the
is?
common sense of it. And I'd be like climbing two sticks.
Karen,
I have
that's
two of
a
them to turn them
great
into
question.
nunchucks.
When I talk about Bitcoin in that acronym, it's really
You did
crypto.
what? Now,
But I
again,
think
if it's my
Bitcoin,
contract
Ethereum,
to pay
and
because
really
that's
a couple
Shepherd's
other
house
layer
and that's how the
ones,
continental is, that's
blockchains
what you got to
are
do. That's the stone
important
mill,
core
not quantum
holdings.
physics.
But the
You'll
reason I use
have to
Bitcoin
put
is
out
it's the
some
most
posts,
liquid.
run some
I
cans,
think
and
it's also the
eventually
safest from a
you're not going to
regulatory
get the
perspective,
return there that
and
you
we
would
know
get
that
mining bits
February
doing other things with
there
certain
may
equipment.
be some executive order coming from the White House, and I think
Now,
that might
for
make
them,
Bitcoin
again,
look
they're
a lot
trying
more
to groom
appealing.
for 670
So Tom,
against
speaking of
157
these sort
or
of
150.
V-shaped bounce backs, we were just talking about the
Usually.
ARK Innovation ETF, and I'm wondering if you also see the sort of violent bounce back for these names that are just absolutely bombed out. And I know you're not an individual stock picker, but names of this ilk.
Yes. Mark Newton, our technical strategist, actually last week wrote
It's
about
okay. There's
how
always gill
he's
age
been
in
watching
there.
ARK, the ARK ETF itself.
Well, again, for
and
me,
thinks
again,
that
why
it's
aren't they in
making
charge of the
important
world? I
bottom.
just
So I
own it
think
because
the
we
next
make the
couple of
agreement.
weeks
So
will
when they
be
step out of line
really
and get off that
insightful,
damn
but
horse
it
about what
does
it
look
is,
like the
we
ARK
usually
bounce
cane them for
needs
it.
to be respected, and I think it's going to be part of that
It's
V-shaped
simple
violent
because
rally.
it is the mill. It's
All
at the
right, Tom,
top
we
limit,
gotta leave
my
it there.
limit
Thanks
to
so much
that
for joining us.
officer's
Always good to get your
position based on
perspective.
frame rate.
Tom Lee of Fundstrat. Beef.
What's for
It's
dinner?
funny, but it's very catchy, and B is much better than putting the C for crypto. Seif is not that catchy guy.
The
do you
beauty
like
on
that?
it is
Energy,
schizo because once
financials,
you're
those
indexed
are
to
the other
certain
letters.
things and there's your training line or there's
I love
not on
energy.
certain index of the
listen,
sharp sky with
I'm
the
not going to
broken
get into
leg
the
or
Bitcoin
broken
thing,
back
but
in the
having been cut in
Stonehenge,
half
stone
and
mill,
seemingly found a
how
bottom
would
at
play
a
off
prior
in town to
low that we bounced from, Bitcoin makes sense. But energy to me
numbers.
makes a lot of sense. And, you know,
First, second,
we've talked
third,
about it, I
fourth,
think, for a
fifth.
while. We had Paul Sankey on a month and a half ago. I think people underestimate how high crude oil can go, and then subsequently the underlying stocks. And if I'm not mistaken, I think energy was one of the better performing sectors in January. I think that's going to continue. And I understand what Tom is saying. By the way, Tom was the one that
you know,
a month and a half, 2 months
Rocky,
ago said to be cautious into this period
we
of
all
time.
have.
So if he says we're going to see a
And
knee-jerk
if they do that,
rally,
but they
I'm
still
not
act
gonna
like
stand in his
Dana
way. I
White's
just think
rabid
there's gonna be more
dog out there in
volatility
front
prior
of a
to
fight,
that.
you wouldn't use it for an
Bonawyn,
officer,
would you
would
buy into this notion of this sharp, violent V-shaped rally?
As a trading position, yes. I'm still a little bit cautious in terms of waiting. The Fed has said that they're going to be data dependent. I think we need to be data dependent as well. So for a trading position, certainly.
Everybody
but
is
aside from
welcome
that,
to it
I'm still a
on
little
that line.
cautious.